Hello, my creative peeps. It's Craftin' Just Because with Cowan. And this week we've been focusing on the paper pumpkin kit, which is the Bon Appetit kit, and it makes these cute little treat boxes. I also have been providing some alternate projects, so I will link my blog post in the description here when I post this YouTube video. But I wanted to show you and bring to you another creative project using some of the items from this set, but also using one of the past paper pumpkin stamp sets, which was this great set of numbers. And so I thought we'd have fun today creating something fun for a Halloween costume contest. And so this is what I came up with. I thought it would be fun to make ribbons. So this I did first, second, and then today we're going to make third ribbons that people can have for a party or a Halloween costume contest. And so they're little pins that you could put on, but I'm going to show you how to make the complete project. So first of all, we are going to start out with 2 sheets, or 2 pieces, not sheets, of cardstock that is 1.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And you could, I need 2 because I'm going to put them together to form this big floral pattern in the background. But what we're going to need to do is you're going to need to bring your trimmer or a scoreboard, whichever you think is easier to use, and you are going to score this every 1/2 inch. So I'm going to just start and go all the way down my paper at every 1/2 inch. And we're going to do that on both little pieces of paper because you'll need that to make your floret. It makes the one of each of these makes one side. And you can make these as wide or as long as you want. Okay, I'm going to do the other piece really quick here. Sorry for the noise there. You can also make a pattern on the end of these if you had like a border punch that you wanted to make a different pattern. But for this purpose, since the other ones are plain, I'm going to keep them plain as well. So I'm just going to move that over. And what we're going to do is we're going to accordion fold these pieces. So I'm going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, just like this. And then once I get it in place, uh-oh, did I mess up here? There we go. I thought I did. I'm going to kind of run the bone folder over it just to make sure that it's nice and creased. Just like that. So then you're left with a little worm. And we're going to do the same thing on this end. Whoops. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with my my liquid multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to glue these ends together. So make sure you use ample amount of glue and glue the ends together just like that. And what I'm going to do while I'm doing that is I'm going to put just a clip there, and I'm going to go ahead and fold these down, clip these together too. And then we're going to set this aside to let the glue dry while we get our other pieces stamped and ready to go. Okay, so let's let that sit for just a moment. Now we're going to come in and with this scrap piece of paper, we're going to stamp that number. So I'm going to take the 3 And we're going to stamp that using Gorgeous Grape because that's the color of cardstock that I am using to create these little ribbon awards. And then I'm just going to stamp that 3 right on down there. And while we have the purple out, I want to do one other thing. Let me clean this off really quick. I'm going to come in with a piece from the Paper Pumpkin kit that's this tiny little label. And then we're going to also use the stamp from that stamp set. And we're going to use Happy Halloween, which is right here. And we're going to stamp that down on the tag right into the middle of it. And then we're going to get out our Memento ink and we're going to stamp that skeleton onto our Timeless Label punch tag that I did right there. So let me get out the correct skeleton here. I'm going to use this one that has his arm up like he's dancing. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp him just like this over to the side. Yay, I'm loving how he's coming together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep letting that dry really quick. And I want to cut out my number so that we're ready and all we have to do is assemble our project here. So I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut out the number. And usually I like to leave a border, but this time I'm just going to go right along the edge of that stamped image. And what I do when I'm doing something like this is I use my paper snips and I move the paper, not my scissors. So I'm moving the paper in the direction that I want to cut around. I find that if you do that, especially on some of your images that are more intricate, you get a cleaner, crisper cut. Our paper snips are the perfect match for these because one, they're really sharp and they've got a nice pointed end and they're smaller. They're not like a big utility scissor, which is nice. There we go. So now we have that cut out. We have all of our pieces. Now, one last thing before we start to put together our little guy, I'm going to cut 2 of these banner pieces. And so what I did is I just took some of my scrap cardstock and I cut them at 1 inch. So I cut that at 1 inch and this at 1 inch. And then I'm also going to cut one of these down when I banner it. So I'm going to show you guys how I like to banner my edges. I'm not always good with cutting straight up into the middle. Like you could use your paper snips and cut up the middle and then down each side. I like to use our tailored tag punch. And then what I do is I just stick it in there where it looks even. And I'm going to come down because I want this to be a little bit shorter. I'm going to do that. And then the same thing on this one. So there's our pieces. But see how nice and easy that is? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we carry these silicone craft mats. And these glue will not stick to, so that's what's kind of nice about these. And what I'm going to do, I'm sorry I have to go off camera because my extension cord doesn't go this far, but I'm going to put a dollop of hot glue right here on this mat, and it won't melt the mat. So hold on, I'll be right back. So here's our dollop of hot glue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my floret and push it down just like this. Okay. And I'm going to put it right onto that dollop of hot glue. And then you're going to have to hold it. Just like that. And it'll take a few seconds for the glue to dry, and that's okay. I'm going to kind of hold it with my fingers here. You want it nice and dried because it'll keep the shape. See how if I move it, you could tell it's still kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's still kind of wet because see, when I move it, it kind of still moves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my punch right directly on top of that. And we're going to just wait a minute. We were a little quick when we made our project. The other thing is I took and punched out a 2-inch circle out of pumpkin pie. So we're going to go ahead and layer this together while we're waiting. I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to pop up our little skeleton tag, and I'm going to just put those right there in the middle. And then I'm going to kind of place it over to the left-hand side, just like that. And then I'm going to take the mini Stampin' Dimensionals and put those on our number 3 here. So I'm gonna put one there, one there, and then I think I'm gonna use 4 altogether just because it's got some shape to it and I don't want it to come apart. And then I'm just gonna peel the release paper off those dimensionals. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that down onto our tag just like that. And then I'm just going to take some liquid multi-purpose glue and put it on the back of this little tag. Mainly towards the right-hand side. And then I'm just going to put him down just like that. So let me hold him down, make sure he's nice and glued down. Okay, now I think we should be ready to see our rosette here. Oh, yep, it's perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another little piece of hot, see it just peels right off. Nice, huh? I'm going to add a tiny bit of hot glue here so that I can glue down the orange pumpkin pie here. So let me go ahead and get some glue on here. And the reason I'm doing the hot glue on that is because this is not a complete flat surface and I want to make sure that it adheres to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just set that down just like that. Kind of press down, make sure it's nice and stuck down. And then we're going to do the same thing with these ribbon pieces. I'm going to kind of glue these together just like this. And then I'm going to put a dollop of hot glue right there on the back. So let me go ahead and do that. And we're going to cover up that icky hot glue spot as well. Okay, so there's my dollop of hot glue. And then I'm going to just place this right over the center just like that. And see how it covers up your yuckiness? And then I got these, you can get them on Amazon, but I'll link them when I post my directions and blog instructions. They have adhesive backs and they're pins. And then I just put that right on the back, right in the middle of that ribbon. And now you have your first, second, and third place ribbons. Oh, it looks like we forgot our jewels. Let's go ahead and get those out. So for that, I'm using the Noble Peacock rhinestones. And then I'm just gonna take my Take-a-Pick tool and I'm gonna put one right here at the bottom and one up here by his hand. Just like that. So now you have your finished Halloween costume contest ribbons. You can actually make these for any little contest that you make, just change up the theme, but I thought they would be cute for Halloween. So I thank you guys for joining me today, and until next time, I will be crafting with you guys again next week. Bye, my creative peeps.